Hey everyone, welcome to Thursdays at 3. Your host Jason Crespin on another Thursday. It's already March 4th, 2021. So glad you guys are joining us today. We have a great show where we're going to talk about everything going on at ALT this week and talk to some cast members for Always a Bridesmaid. Can you believe it? Already March is here and we're about to kick off a busy season for the theater, but we're excited for sure. We've already kicked it off. It's been busy already. I'm going to bring him on right away because I know he has a busy schedule. I want to bring on Mr. Alan Shankles real quick. Alan, congrats on closing Once. It was an amazing show. I'm sure you're sad. You and the cast are so sad for that show to have closed, but again, it was a fabulous show.
Thanks very much. We were very proud of it and hated to see it close for sure.
And we felt bad. You guys were striking. You were still eating in the Turk lobby. Me and Michaela were moving props in for Wizard of Oz. We felt bad. We were like, sorry, I know you guys are still like.
What you guys are. You young people just push us old people out of the way.
Peggy was pushing us out at the other space. We had to go. So, but again, kudos to you and the cast of Once. It was absolutely fantastic show, and I know that it was a hard one to see go, but it was absolutely fantastic. It's always nice leaving everyone wanting more. So,
sure.
I wanted to touch base real quick. We've had a busy week, and kind of we wanted to talk a little bit. I know this has gone out in an email and different things like that, but we've got some great news that has kind of occurred the past couple of a couple weeks, really, but even more so this week. If you want to talk real quick about a super patron that we have, a couple of super patrons.
Yeah, we sent out an appeal. We've had an outstanding few months with fundraising. Brandy Reed, who's on our board, wrote a grant to the Bivens Foundation and got an award of $50,000. Right, let's get a woohoo on that.
Woohoo!
Here we go. And then I wrote a letter back in November, asking for end of year contributions, and one of our patrons. Well, let me tell you the good news. We've raised over $250,000, and one of our patrons has done almost more than half of that.
Wow! Oh my God!
Minnie Venable, and Minnie is one of the most generous and kind people I've ever met, and she is making our year. She's turning our year around.
She is. She certainly is. She's been a super patron before, and now she's even a super patron now with all of her kindness and her generosity. And I know you're working on something that we'll make sure everyone gets to see it once we have it all done. But yeah, that's fantastic. And she got to see the show Sunday. Is that correct?
Sunday, and we knew she was coming, so we arranged to have some flowers for her, and we got the audience to give her a standing ovation, and she's really plugged in. You know, Minnie was in a production of Steel Magnolias back in the late 80s.
I love that. That.
So she's been involved for a long time, and I need to tell you another story about Minnie, just so you can see an overall trend here. We had a staff member who was needing to go on disability for a while, and Minnie, we couldn't afford to make that happen, as it were. But Minnie called me and said, I would like to take care of this person's salary for the next 3 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it's just when the need goes out there, Minnie responds.
That's fantastic. We're certainly blessed for that. Yeah, that's fantastic.
There are a lot of other generous people that have made significant contributions. Don't get me wrong, but you have to recognize one that's six figures.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we appreciate that so much. And then you also mentioned we had a patron that basically bequeathed some of the.
Yes, we have a dear patron who recently died, and she remembered us in her estate planning, and we got a check for over $100,000 on that as well. Her name was Martha Collier. And Martha came to the theater for years and years. Toward the end, she was on a walker, but she still came and spoke highly of our work and was always happy to be here.
I love that. That's absolutely fantastic. John, this says, thank you, Minnie and Brandy. Of course, Brandy working on that grant for us. Of course, Minnie and Martha as well. Yeah, everyone has done great. And some people might think, oh, then the theater's great. They've gotten all these great things. That's just helping us get a little bit closer to where, where we had hoped we would be. You have to think we were already under in a deficit for our budget this season with of course the pandemic. Our box office sales, of course, have hurt because of this. So
well, we're selling half the tickets we typically would because
Right.
we're socially distancing. So we're only reaching half of what our ticket sales were last year.
Sure. So hopefully everyone's like, oh, I mean, this has definitely helped us for sure, but we're still climbing and still trying to dig us out of the hole, and we'll do everything we can.
Yeah, we have a big hole to get out of.
Yeah, but this certainly gives us a good step forward out of that. So we really appreciate that as well. Also, Alan, I want to get you on real quick to talk about, you had another email that went out. Just kind of want to make sure everyone understands what ALT is going to be doing come March 10th and onward after that.
Well, let me first say, because I've had a little pushback on a couple of things. I am as anxious as anybody in the world for these restrictions to drop. I would like nothing better than to take a mask off and never see one again in the rest of my life. I would like nothing more than to sell every ticket we have in our auditorium. But I feel like it's a little premature to drop all those safety precautions right now. I feel like we're spiking the football just before we cross the goal line. And I feel like if we would be diligent for another few weeks, that we can get past this thing. My goal is not to just get by with it; it's to get it gone. And because I don't want to have to deal with this next year if we can help it. So the governor, of course, has relaxed has opened up the economy and has dropped the mask mandate. And that's great. I hope it works. I would like nothing better, but I feel like it's a little premature. And so for at least the next couple of weeks or whatever, we're going to continue with our safety protocols as they've been established, and we'll hope that maybe in 2 weeks or 3 weeks we can ease up on that. Maybe by the time Wizard of Oz comes around, we can sell all those tickets that we have still that we planned on being empty.
Sure. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, as of right now, our protocols will stay the same, and we will update our website. We'll update our social media. We'll update ticket holders. All of that. We'll get that information out to you if and when our policies change. So that way you guys can kind of all know where we are, at least at the theater right now.
We've been successful to produce 6 shows. There is almost nobody in the country that has done that.
Mm-hmm.
We have been cautious, and I'm going to continue to err on the side of caution because we want to finish our season.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit more pain. We've gone through this for a year. Let's don't give up the fight until it's done.
Sure. And luckily, more vaccines are now available for people, teachers and stuff like that. But
numbers are dropping in Amarillo. The vaccines are making a difference. The masks are making a difference, and it feels like maybe we're getting close to the breaking point here, and we can all celebrate.
For sure.
We've got to be. I just feel like for ALT, we've got to continue to be diligent for another few weeks.
Sure. And we will, like we said, we will make sure everyone is aware. Anytime anything changes, we will make sure that you're aware. So that way, if you're planning on coming to the theater, you know exactly what to expect each time you come here at ALT.
I mean, it's not like we're relishing making you wear a mask.
Sure.
We're not the mask police or anything. We just feel like we've had success with asking people to wear masks, and we're going to continue to ask that for another few weeks.
Yeah, agreed. Yep. I think it's a good plan of action for us to do right now until we see the effects of everything for sure. So yeah. So if you have any questions, hopefully that helps solve some of those where ALT is going to be at. Of course, always contact us at our AmarilloLittleTheater.org. You can check out our website where our COVID safety protocols are listed there. and reach out if you have any other questions. Alan, I know you're super busy.
Conversations with some people today.
Yeah, sure, for sure. I know you're super busy. I'll let you go back out. We'll get our crew of amazing, talented volunteers who are.
I saw the show last night and it was a blast.
Yay! Oh, good, awesome.
They're gonna rock the house.
Woohoo! I love it. Sold out houses. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. 2 weeks of theater for sure.
It's a great combination of women and it's outrageous and fun and it's gonna be a blast. Our audiences are gonna love it.
I love that. Awesome. Alan, thanks for taking quick time. Well, I'll let you go, and we'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.
Awesome. Bye, Alan. So everyone kind of knows where ALT's at. So making sure that you guys will get, like we said, we'll get you information. I'm gonna go real quick over just a couple things. Again, Wizard of Oz, we were talking that a little bit. We have finally moved over to the main stage. Thank goodness. I know we were in everyone's hair over at the Adventure Space. So we've been doing great sets building. We're working on costumes. Bentley got to sit in on a costume kind of parade, if you will, of some Ozians. So again, we just keep trucking along. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic show. Tickets, we want to remind you, go on sale this Monday at 10 a.m. to season ticket holders, Monday, March 15th to our general public. Good people, they've been rehearsing in Studio B. They're back to in-person rehearsals. They're getting the show ready to happen in April. So they've been working hard at that. And then, of course, Matilda is also gearing up to rehearse later on this month. So a lot of rehearsals to get shows ready to go. Also, we want to let you know, starting tonight at Always a Bridesmaid, you can begin voting for the shows for next season. That's right. We want your opinion on what shows you want to see on our ALT main stage season. We want to know your vote. There's a little QR code that you can easily take a picture of and start voting if you would like to now. It'll be on our website and our social media soon. There's some great musicals, some great plays. So definitely check out that ballot, get your cast or vote and cast your vote and make sure your opinion is heard. They've been waiting in the wings. I got to get them in because they've been absolutely fantastic. We cannot wait for Always a Bridesmaid. It's going to be a huge hit. It already is a hit for ALT. We have some amazing actresses joining us today. All of them couldn't make it, but we have 4. I think this is the most people I've had from a cast on a Thursdays at 3. So let's welcome Kelsey, Carrie, Christy, and Brenda. Hello, ladies. How are y'all doing today?
Good. Well, thank you.
I love it. You guys look so rested. You're just like, what does it feel like to have a sold out run at ALT where you don't have to worry about the stress of selling tickets or just, you just look so, I know that's more pressure for sure, but you guys look fantastic. Just ready to go. I love it. First off, let me ask, how's everyone doing? Let's go around. Remind us who you are, who you play, and tell us how you're doing. Start with you, Kelsey.
Oh, I'm Kelsey, and I play Kari, and I'm doing really good, and I'm really excited for tonight.
Your hair looks great.
Thanks.
Also, yes, well, I mean, just it looks very bridal, I would say, for sure. All right, next.
I'm Carrie Huckabee, and I play Monette.
Monette. Carrie, I feel like this is our background. I feel like I always know your background because of you've been on many a Thursdays at 3 and different things like that. So we appreciate that so much. Yeah, you're always willing to help join us. I love it. Let's jump down to Christy.
I'm Christy, and I play Miss Sedalia that owns the bridal, the facility, the wedding venue.
I love it. And random puppeteer as well.
Yeah, this is Valentine. He's here.
I love it. She's doing awesome. She's at work right now. We appreciate you so much coming on.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And then Brenda, a new face. Brenda, tell us about how are you doing? You're doing great.
I'm good, and I play Charlie Collins, and I'm kind of the earthy girl of the four good friends that are doing this thing.
I love that, the earthy girl. I feel like we all exactly know what type of person that is when you say earthy girl. I love it. I love it. We of course want to talk about this show, Always a Bridesmaid. In fact, I think it was maybe yesterday that the playwrights posted and shared about our show again on social media. They have been in. They know our history with their shows that we've done. Of course, those audiences that may not realize this is the same trio of playwrights that wrote Dixie Swim Club and Savannah Sipping Society. And a common theme between all of those shows and this one is Carrie Huckabee. You've been the one actress that have been in all three of these shows. I love it.
I have. God bless those playwrights for writing for middle-aged women. God bless them.
They know how to write a good southern play for sure.
They do. Their comedy is just fun. Fun.
Now, there's no
And easy. It's you don't have to think about it too hard either.
Right. Oh, for sure. There's no overlapping of characters with those other shows, is there?
No, they're all different.
Gotcha. I wondered
Set in different places.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love that. Was that one of the biggest reasons you wanted to do this show? Is because you knew the playwrights, you knew that how the writing was, and also to be like, I'm bragging. I can brag. I was in all three of them.
And I'm finally in a show at the Adventure Space.
Yes,
I'm the Susan Lucci of ALT's Adventure Space. Finally.
I love it. I love it so much. In fact, Carrie led the campaign for Once to move over to the main stage. Ellen,
I didn't.
I've only been at the Adventure Space once, and that was when you were my baby boy.
That's what, in fact, I was going to say, Christy, next, this is the first play that you've done for us at ALT, right?
My what?
Your first
This is
play.
my first play. Yeah, I usually only get in on my singing ability.
I was going to say, Christy, for musicals. Christy did play my mom in the Piazza, where we were Italian, and it was so much fun. It was. In fact, I still call you
Mama,
and give you a pass on rehearsals, and then there's a lot of confused munchkins sometimes whenever I come. You guys look alike, and but well.
Yeah,
I love that though. I love that, Christy. How has it been being in a play this time around?
I told Carrie way early. I was like, I don't feel like I have this memorized as quickly as I did, and she was like, it's because you're not singing all the words. And I was like, well, that's probably it.
I mean, if we set Always a Bridesmaid to music, we'd all have it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Immediately.
I love that idea. That would be fantastic. They should write a musical. I feel like they have yet to write a musical. Maybe that'll happen soon for sure.
Yeah.
And then Kelsey, of course, you graduated. You were, have been in our academy, our alumni. What have you done since then? Because I feel like your return to ALT stage. I love it.
It is my return, and it's my first performance at the Adventure Space. I worked for Godspell, and that was the only experience I have at the Adventure Space. I was at WP. I graduated in May of 2020, right when we started the pandemic. Great time.
Yeah.
But the last show I did was Ada and the Engine, which went to KCCTF and won the Director's Cup.
Woo!
Yay.
Kelsey knows a little thing about theater, basically. Yeah, she knows just a touch here and there. Yeah, I love it. Yes, fantastic. Well, we're glad to have you back. And then Brenda, we love new faces. I love it. And correct me if I'm wrong. Am I correct? You were in Kara Limer's adult acting class. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did.
I thought I recognized the name, and I was like, I think she's the same one as the roster. I love it.
I thought, how fun! I'm in a big town, and I can do stuff like this now. So,
yeah, where were you before?
I had been on South Padre Island, and they actually do community theater too. So I did a few things down there, but a lot more options here in Amarillo.
When did you move to Amarillo?
February, right before COVID in March.
Okay.
But you grew up here, right? Didn't you grow up here?
I did.
Yeah,
I
grew up
graduated from Amarillo High
nice.
a while back.
We're middle-aged. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Listen, somebody recently, they asked me how old I was as a little kid. And I said, I was born in 19, and I didn't even finish the number. And they were like, you were born in the 1900s?
I can that.
It's like, yes, I'm not 21. But then I also was like, do you think I'm 21? Like, thank you, kid. Like, yeah, let's move you front and center of that Munchkin group. I love it. Okay, so Brenda, was you maybe being in that class? Is that something that you're like, I want to audition maybe for this show? Had you come seeing a show and thought maybe I could do that as well, or what made you think I want to audition?
Well, I had anytime I was in town and there was a production going on, I would come and check it out. And so I was already super familiar with you guys. And I did see that you had this one in the lineup. And we had looked at possibly doing it on the island, actually, but didn't get to do it because the costumes are a little, elaborate and everything. So when I saw it on there, I thought, I think I may try out for that.
I don't know what you mean about elaborate costumes. I've never seen more tame costumes, really. And, just another day at the theater, really, for us at ALT. I mean, these costumes, all of them, are just, and these are, you guys, of course, rotate through costumes, of course, but just seeing those alone, and you guys, we joked about this. We, of course, our rehearsals have been in the next room next to them in the performance space. And it was so much fun seeing you guys just pass, through and around to get to your next entrance in different costumes. At one point, Christy joined the Winkies, and as they marched across our rehearsal, she just joined right in. Yeah, we stopped our rehearsal when Carrie came through with the gorgeous dress, and we gave a standing ovation for that. And so I can't.
That was fun.
Yeah, I felt like you
were getting a standing ovation from the Wizard of Oz.
Right? I felt like we were seeing the behind-the-scenes show. So now I can't wait to see the on-stage show because, man, it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
When are you coming?
So I'm one of those random person who did not have a ticket when you sold out the first time, and I work at ALT. How sad is that? And so I was one of the first people to get one of the added on. So I will be there this Sunday evening, and I cannot wait.
Okay, good.
Yeah. That's like ALT staff day because all of us were like, "Can we please get tickets?" We kept texting and emailing the box.
My parents too. My parents are coming then too because they didn't get any tickets before where they were sold out. And Mom was like, "It's already sold out." I know, Mom. I told you this is when you have to get tickets.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have, but man, it's just something that people are craving comedy right now. They're craving just that feel-good show to just come and laugh and just have fun at the theater.
Well, this one is the one they need to come to. Not that they can get tickets to come to it, but if you've already got tickets, it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I love it. And we should mention, of course, get on a wait list at the box office. If any groups of tickets get turned back in, they can easily get people on there. If you have tickets and for some reason you're like, I can't go, turn them into the box office. Let the box office know they can easily get somebody off that wait list in, or say, call anyone that, if posted on social media or anything like that, because we don't want any of the tickets to go unused for sure, especially because it's a full sold out run, which is absolutely fantastic. I was going to say, performing in the adventure space, Carrie, you mentioned this now, your first time to get to perform in this space, Kelsey as well, and Brenda. Christy, of course, your first show was Light in the Piazza, where it was in the adventure space. How has that been for you guys? Especially with having to of course cope with COVID and different things like that. But how does it feel being in that space? I feel like this show lends itself to the space because it's that intimate kind of fun, action and back and forth. Of course, we'd love to have seen it on the main stage with huge sets and different things like that. But how has that been performing in this intimate space?
I've always loved black box theater. That was my favorite space in college. And then when I graduated working at other theaters, the black box was always my favorite kind of performance space.
Sure.
So, that wasn't until I got to ALT and got pigeonholed into the main stage for the rest of my life. Not that I'm bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm kidding. So with the thrust theater, where you've got the audience on all three sides, you just have to be more aware of making sure that you get your face and your acting side to all three areas of the audience, and that nobody feels left out. I've heard you say to the kids, "Your mother is sitting on that side. Make sure you act to your mother."
Yeah. Yep. It's so true. I love it. How about for you, Kelsey, being, in that space, you've grown up seeing the space and different things like that. And now you're like, oh my gosh, I get to finally perform in this space.
It's really exciting. I hadn't realized I'd never actually done a show in the thrust. I directed a 10-minute in the thrust, and I remember Godspell, you constantly being like, okay, everybody, but not realizing how much of a mental flip it is to not just play out.
Yeah.
incredible. It was also interesting when we added costumes, how different it is trying to move when you have a giant wedding dress on.
That's so
And
true. I didn't think about that.
navigate the three sides. So it's definitely a training ground, and it's really fun. And it's yesterday with our invited dress, having people come. It's interesting, like seeing faces as you're talking and being like, I should not make eye contact during this monologue.
Right. Sure. Or like, oh, my dress is actually taking out the front row. Didn't realize that until there's actually people sitting there with legs. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we had to move the column back because every time I would start to move, the dress would just break the fourth wall.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Those little things like that. I love when you guys can discover and figure
tell your
out.
dress to stay in character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is its own character. So is the Marie Antoinette costume.
The costumes are their own characters for sure. We have to take the reins and take the attention back from the costumes sometimes.
Oh, yes. I mean, for sure. I mean, just those alone. Yep, I could see that for sure. Brenda, how was your space when in on the island? Was it kind of similar to ours, or was it like the main stage? Or
No, I haven't. It was kind of an intimate room, but no, we only played the one way. So I've really had to get used to having my butt toward the audience sometimes. I mean, even the front. Like you even play, turn toward the back of the room and stuff. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But,
It's so weird to think that sometimes like one of the best spots is your back, if you're downstage center and your back's to the audience, because the sides get to see you great. And you think this is so wrong. I don't think like this kind of motion where you're like, no, I shouldn't do this. But yeah, for sure.
exactly.
Christy, for you with this show, has it been like, is it like almost visiting an old friend coming back to the space? Because you know what I mean? With Piazza, we had those huge arches in Italy and all that stuff. And I would feel like for you, it's like, oh yeah, I remember, this.
I know. It was so strange. I think I was so overwhelmed when we were in Piazza because, I mean, that was only my second show. I mean, I was just ensemble in Christmas Carol at the main stage. And then all of a sudden, here I was in a role at the Adventure Space. And I had never even seen a show at the Adventure Space at that point, I don't think. And it was like, okay, well, this is fun.
Yeah.
And, I also have never taken an acting class in my life. I've never taken any kind of theater class or anything. And so whenever they say you're breaking the fourth wall, I'm like, what are you talking about? I really don't know.
I helped build all of the walls because I'm here
I built the wall and I don't remember there being a fourth wall. I don't know what you're talking about.
When I was thrilled to repair the wall, and they're like, no.
I don't know.
Yeah. I love that. And you guys, we mentioned, Kelsey kind of mentioned last night, there was a couple of people that were there, the audience. I know our box office got to watch, and I believe some members from once, because they didn't get tickets, their performance and stuff like that. Ashley Devoid says, it was so good to laugh last night after feeling so much with once. I love that. Thanks, Ashley, for that comment. And a lot of people are coming. Darringtons are coming Sunday too. Can't wait to see Kelsey. Have missed her. I love that. Fantastic. And then, yeah, everyone's, they love the playwrights. They know these playwrights and it's, they know that they're coming and they're going to have a great time at the theater for sure. For all of you guys, when this show was announced, and kind of Brenda, we talked about this a little bit, when the season was announced, was it a show that you got all kind of maybe thought you had your eye on? Brenda, with you coming and thinking, okay, I'm going to take classes, and thinking, well, that show might have a spot for me potentially, or different things like that. Was this a show kind of on everyone's radar, or?
Not for me. I didn't until Lene Jacobs. I was in the lobby during Little Women. I was in the lobby during Little Women, and Lene Jacobs was like, Christine, you try for that show. And I said, I'm going to ask Alan about that, because it says on there 35 to 45, and then it said 55 to 70. So I'm 8. So it cut me out. And he was like, Christy, you can play 40. You will be fine. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. And then what? I got cast as the 55 to 70-year-old. I think I'm a little bitter about that.
Peggy's funny. She's like,
the bitterness abounds. It's part of being a middle-aged woman, which is why we all, except for Kelsey, auditioned for the show. We were finally like, I don't have to play a mother. Or,
Yeah, for sure.
The middle-aged best friend.
I love it. I love it. Kelsey, what about for you? Was this one?
Not a lot of holes for our age.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
It was weird because when I read the script and Kari was listed as 27 to like 37. It was like, that's just above. But then Alan announced that the ages were going to be a little bit younger, and I almost didn't audition, but went at the last minute. Was like, you know what, give it a shot, and I'm so glad I did.
Yay! I love that. That's
We
fantastic.
are too.
Yeah.
I get to do shit with Carrie, which is something I wanted to do, even though I don't interact with Carrie except once.
No, just one time. It's meaningful though. It's really good.
This is true.
It's
I love
sweet.
that. I love that. I love that so
Kelsey,
much.
were you
That's
in?
always-
I know you were in senior company. Were you in theater 4 too?
Do what?
Theater 4 and senior company with me.
I did 4 years with you. I did. I think I was in theater 4 my first year, and then senior company my last 3.
3 years. That's what I thought.
I love that you guys get to perform together. That's just absolutely fantastic.
I remember with High School Musical, it was like Carrie was supposed to be Darbus, and then Sarah did amazing at
Boy,
Broadway.
the bitterness just rolls off.
Oh, we lost Kelsey somehow. Oh, too bad. She's exposing all of my secret. No, she just
I remember I was like, what are the thespians? And you came and you're like, I was almost Darbus. And Caitlin Standish and I were both like, dang it, we almost got to be with Carrie.
It's true. It's true.
That would have been, if Sarah Ferris hadn't done such a good job in that, I would have been super angry, but she was awesome. So
It's true. It's true. Yes, I still feel bad about that, but luckily Carrie has forgiven me for that for sure.
not mad enough to let me be in the Wizard of Oz.
I know, right? Yeah. One of
That
these
little
days.
drama back in.
Which, P.S. Again, you guys were such troopers. I know you were definitely tired of hearing about the ding dong, the witch is dead during y'all's
No
rehearsal.
way. I loved that. I loved
Now
it.
it's weird not having it. It's weird
Oh,
not
sure.
having the. Like at one point, I think I thought my cue was "Ding Dong, the witch is dead."
I love it. Well, it was fun whenever you guys would come through because we almost wanted to have like a sign like this tall, stay in this room for Wizard of Oz rehearsal. And if you're taller than this, go on into the adventure space for your
The
rehearsal.
best one though was when y'all were doing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead, and I don't know, some kid has his axe. He's got his axe. I guess he's the Tin Man, and he had his axe, and I was going through with my axe, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go, Tin Man and me. We got our axes for Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead."
Yeah, there was definitely an axe moment for sure. I love when the spots kind of overlap. I loved it. I love that so much. We should.
I really feel bad for people that don't have the joy of the theater that we have. This camaraderie between all the different productions going on. I think that's great. That once came to see our soft dress, and we got to see your rehearsals for the Wizard of Oz. We're like a sweet little family here.
It's so true. It's so true. Also, I never told Peggy this. I was petrified, which granted, I know you guys all would have been great and she would not have gotten as mad. But there was moments when I was like, if Bentley gets out and runs across their stage, I was like, oh, I was about to be like, no. And all of a sudden a dog would just, join the wedding party somehow.
Well, we have a dog in our show.
We do have a dog in our show.
Oh,
Right.
Do not tell Bentley he will be bitter that he did not get to play that role.
Uh-huh. Well, it's stuffed in a drawer for a point. It's okay.
Deep down, we were all hoping Bentley would run into the theater.
We were hoping.
That would have been fun.
I love it. We, of course, mentioned Peggy Levitt directing the show, Criselda Reyes, of course, assistant directing, and Christy mentioned Lene Jacobs is of costuming the show. And I know you guys have all helped with those costumes and all of that as well. So you guys have been fabulous with that. I'm curious,
Jason, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to go.
Yes,
I pick up my car.
Yep, you got to go. No problem. We'll see you. Break a leg tonight, Miss Christy.
Bye. Thank you.
Yes. I was going to ask, have you all been bridesmaids before? Carrie, you've been a bridesmaid 5 times. 5 times, Carrie. That's a lot.
Twice.
Twice. Brenda, have you been a bridesmaid?
I'm thinking I haven't. Why not?
I
I
You're gonna get on your phone to those friends going,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I mean, some have private ceremonies and stuff, and I moved away
Sure,
from them.
sure.
So
If anyone's looking for a bridesmaid, Brenda likes to she would volunteer. She knows the protocol, all that good stuff. I love it. I love that. I wanted to ask you guys too, the music of this show, we've Peggy was here during the day, setting things up, and she was playing the soundtrack. The soundtrack of this, I almost said film. I mean, it feels like there should be a soundtrack to this show because the music is fantastic. And I haven't even heard all of the songs, but we were jamming during the day when Peggy was working and she was playing it. We were like, oh, I want this playlist. It sounds awesome. So,
and it spans the decades and genres of music. It's all over the place, but it's super fun music.
I love
we
that.
knew early on it was going to be a big part of the show. At our first table read, she was like telling us, so this song might go here or this song. So we knew it was going to be a big part of the show when we started.
She already had a plan. I love that. Carrie Ashley asks, do you still have all of those bridesmaid dresses?
Yeah.
You do.
No, I donated those. Those were bridesmaids dresses happened when Carrie was at another size. Oddly enough, in my early 20s. And when I got to work at Randall High School in 99, I think, I donated all of those costumes to the Randall High School theater department.
Well, there you go. So Randall, if you
I donated those costumes. Some of them were costumes.
So the brides,
any of my brides that I was in their wedding, they were beautiful. You were beautiful.
and sometimes different eras of style, or or hairstyles, or there's that great movie. Is it 27 Dresses? Where that was a little extreme though. There's some pretty out there ones in that movie for sure.
There was one purple brocade with puff sleeves, a peplum, and a long skirt. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a beautiful wedding, but it was a lot.
Yeah. Sounds a little bit a lot. Yep, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
With the show, with you guys having, of course, sold out weekends, which we want to remind everyone. Yes, we wish we could say buy tickets. The show, of course, is March 4th through the 14th. They even added Sunday evening shows to the run because it sold out so quickly. Thank goodness, because that was one of the tickets that I was able to purchase. Just going from Carrie to Brenda to Kelsey, what are you hoping audiences come away with this show? I know, of course, there's been challenges with the show of rehearsing, and then we had weather and we had to cancel some rehearsals, or you guys were great because you guys kind of would move up your rehearsals a little bit and this and that. I know that Peggy was really, really thankful for how flexible you guys were as far as making arrangements when the weather was bad. But all of that work put in, of course, and you're about to open the show. What are you hoping audiences take away when they come see the show? Carrie, we'll start with you.
A deep sense of self, who they are as a person. No, it's just fun. It's just stupid, ridiculous fun. That if they come away with anything, it would be to treasure your friendships.
Yeah.
But past that, just come to check out your brain at the door and just laugh. Laugh.
Yeah. I love that. Brenda, what about you?
Yeah, nothing deep. I'm just thinking maybe a good core workout with some laughs.
Yeah.
Man, that's the best workout. That's a workout I do. That's the only workout I do. I need to get back on a workout regimen. Yes, Kelsey, what about you?
This entire rehearsal process has just been so fun for us that I hope people can just get a taste of the joy that is what we've gotten to do for the past month and a half or whatever. Just leave feeling lighter than when they came in.
I love that. And honestly, us, the board, the staff, all of us here at ALT, thank you guys, because you guys are all volunteers. Sometimes people don't understand that you guys are volunteers. You come, you audition, and give up so much time to come to rehearsals and give up, energy, and you may purchase things that you want for the show and this and that. You guys do so much that we really appreciate it, all while in a pandemic. It's like, also there's that to add on top of it. So yeah. Really, honestly, from the staff and from the board, we thank you guys as super patrons or super volunteers, because you guys sacrifice so much. The production of Once that just closed, we keep thinking about how so many people don't understand that they are volunteers. You guys are volunteers, you know. It's a lot of times people think that you guys are professionals or are paid or this and that, and it's like, no, they do it because they love it. They do it because they love ALT. And every now and then I think it's a good reminder, just because I would not have a job if it wasn't for you guys, you know, doing these shows and helping us get more audiences in and sold out crowds for this show. That's just such a, I wish I had a sold out button that you guys could all wear around town and just be like, oh, you haven't heard? My show sold out. Just sorry for y'all. I love that. I was going to ask who should come see, or obviously we always ask who should come see the show. We want people to know, though, this is not an adventure space play because it's language or subject matter or rated R or nudity or anything like that. This was on the main stage. Oh,
no, it's not.
I was like, oh,
no, there's no nudity.
We're like, we're adding a third and fourth weekend ticket sale. I can't stop the calls. But I can't wait, because I really do feel like people who normally don't come to the adventure space, who just kind of stay at the main stage, which is great because those shows fit them a little bit better. They're going to get to come see a show at the adventure space, but it's still a main stage type of a show, which I think is just awesome. And getting more people to experience our theater and what we can do and our different spaces, for sure. I love it. Carrie, of course, we should mention you says, yeah, no language or anything. You just came off of playing Marmee, which was fantastic. You did a beautiful job in that in Little Women. And so I think that's just so fun. You can go from a Marmee. Peggy and I talked about this last Thursdays at 3 to a completely different type of character in this show.
Yes, the opposite of Marmee, if there were such a character, I think. Self-involved and kind of trashy. That's my character.
Well,
so it's been really, really fun to let out that side of Carrie today, because I veer towards the Marmee.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
More enclosed and loving, and my character.
It's gonna be great.
It was really
Brenda,
fun to see everybody's faces last night.
Oh yeah, because tonight was no masks, right? Yeah, of course. Like, to see everyone's full facial expressions and different things like that. Yeah, we should mention everyone's been rehearsing masks, and you guys have been doing so good about making sure, you know, all of our safety protocols, all that stuff, which has been awesome. So, Brenda, do you relate to any aspect of your character?
Actually, I do, which I thought, you know, when I first got the part, because she doesn't get to look cute or anything, but I mean, you can tell kind of from my hair right now, I'm pretty low maintenance, and so I am a little bit earthy like her.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love that. That's fantastic. I love it. I love it. Kelsey, what about you? Any characteristics of your character that you're like, oh, that's a little me?
Definitely. She's just very sweet, and I think she has just a little bit of sass to her, which I think is very fun and very relatable. She's definitely more outgoing than I am, for sure.
Well, there you go. Okay, good to know. Nice. I love that. Well, again, we thank you guys so much. I know, thank you for being on today. I know asking you to come on in the afternoon when you have a show, you know, tonight to get ready for with packed out audiences and all that stuff. We appreciate you guys coming and talking on Thursdays at 3. Oh wait, this just in. Sorry, breaking news. Assistant director wants to make sure, Brenda, you know, don't sell yourself short. You are a hottie in that second costume.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Griselda.
So everyone be on the lookout for Brenda's second costume. I can't wait. That's awesome. And Joe says, bravo, ladies. The show was so much fun. Thank you. She got to see the show last night, which is absolutely, she was coming in talking about how great it was, and all your performances were absolutely fantastic. And she was like, it's just what people need right now. It's just some good laughter. So I love that so much. Again, we want to mention sold out run, of course, March 4th through the 14th. For some reason, if you can get your hands on a ticket, I was like, man, I should have got some extra tickets and like scalped them or something. I've been outside making my mortgage payment at least or something. Right? But we want everyone should know, of course, Always a Bridesmaid is going to be a fabulous run this next 2 weekends at the ALT Adventure Space, not the main stage, Adventure Space. Don't forget, Thursday shows are at 7:30, Fridays and Saturdays 8 o'clock. Sundays at 2:30, and added performances at 6:30. Cannot wait to see the show. Again, Carrie, Brenda, Kelsey, Christy, who had to leave us a little earlier. Thank you guys so much. And oh, we should mention Chris and Nicole, the other two actresses in this show. They couldn't make it today for Thursdays at 3, but they're knocking it out of the park, and I know they're having just as much fun as you guys as well. And two other new faces. We love welcoming more people into our ALT family. Brenda, we hope that we've surpassed all expectations that you might have had, and we can't wait to see you shine, especially in that second costume, apparently. Cannot wait for that. And then also we can't wait for you to continue auditioning and being a part of our ALT family. And Kelsey back as a grown-up this time, which is just weird, like to feel like you're not a kid anymore. And so I love it.
Every time I've walked through Wizard of Oz rehearsals, I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be with them.
Yeah, right. I love that. We're like, you don't go here anymore. Go with the other side of the wall. I love it. I love it. Well, again, break a leg tonight, ladies. I know technically we call it our preview night tonight, opening tomorrow night. I know you guys are going to absolutely knock it out of the park this next 2 weekends. And know that, again, we thank you so much for volunteering your time at ALT, and break a leg. It's going to be great. We'll see you guys in Thursdays at 3. Tune in next week. We'll have a great other show updating you more about ALT, more about Wizard of Oz and tickets and all that stuff. Get your tickets for Wizard of Oz if you're a season ticket holder, starting on Monday at 10 a.m. They're going to go pretty quickly. And so look at that. We're looking at some options and maybe squeezing in some shows here and there, but look out for information on all that next week on Thursdays at 3, and vote for next season. It's going to be a great couple of shows that you might be able to vote for. So Carrie's already she's like, I'm going to vote. It's going to be great. I love it. So check out the social media next or tomorrow. We'll get that posted on there as well, so everyone can start voting. And there's some great shows. All of them are great shows. So we will be excited to see what you guys pick for next season. Thanks guys again, and we will see everyone at the theater. Bye, y'all.
Stay